I'm with you to the end of the line. What's going on with the YouTube? SEL0320 representing JVS. So I'm back again for number 9, Phase 2, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And I'm going to go ahead and just tell you, if I didn't say anything else, this still probably is the best Marvel Cinematic Universe film for me. Yeah, that's just, I'll just say that off the rip. I thought that the directing was great. I thought the choreography was great. I thought the cinematics were great. I thought the soundtrack was amazing. But it was like the whole part about this that was so interesting is the fact that you get to really see Captain America completely whole. What I mean by that is, like, from the very opening on the tanker, and you see in Captain America open hand fight, and like when he dove from the plane into the water and just started to let loose, and you get to really see him actually legit fight. I was like, you go Cap, that's my dog. Chris Evans does an interesting nuance to this character that I thought that by the time he sees Sebastian Stan's Bucky, you feel every bit of that emotion. When he was talking with, of course, Anthony Mackie in the very beginning, like on your left, and they work together, he starts talking to him about like, oh, what playlist I'm working on. Like it just didn't feel like forced comedy. It didn't feel cringeworthy. Like everything that was happening felt serious, felt real, felt visceral, and it really kept me engaged from the very beginning all the way to the very end. The action moments in this, when you get to see the Winter Soldier, when Sebastian Stan shows up, and like Nick Fury is just like, what the heck is that? And I was like, legit, this man's about to kill Nick Fury. Fury is about to go down. I was like, yo, this man is a savage. Like everything that he did in this movie, I was like, he played it to a T. He defined himself. He's not a villain technically, but he technically is one of the best villains that they've ever had. Like, the utilization of him in this one was just perfect. From his mechanics of his arm, to his ability, to his connection with Steve Rogers, and just everything with Hydra embedded into this carry over so well within the confines of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all these other shows and all these other movies, that it really defined this movie as the staple, like, this is the mark that changes everything forever. Especially with the helicarriers and S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, I was just like, wow. Even my man Samuel Jackson did his thing. Like, they gave him a moment to shine. Had him in a SUV going and putting in work and doing his thing, trying to stay alive. When he got shot legit in his apartment, I was like, that's a way to go out. Like, I legit thought he was going to die. Scarlett Johansson does her best performance to me for Black Widow in this movie. Like, she played the role of the double agent. She played the role of the real visceral partner for Steve Rogers, even more so than Anthony Mackie did. I thought, honestly, I was like, man, I might become a Black Widow and Captain America shipper because they just ooze chemistry. And that's why I was so conflicted when I saw Age of Ultron. I saw her with Bruce Banner. I was like, I don't know. And I mean, there's some dealings that you can kind of feel when it comes to Civil War later on, especially when she goes visit him in the funeral or whatever. But in this one, I was like, I could see them booed up together. I could definitely see that happen. But oh man, dude, like they got my man. Man, what is my man's name? I forget his name. Can't believe I just did that. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. Hold on, I'm gonna get it. What is my man? Robert Redford, yo, low-key, he came in with the sneak as well because I was like really kind of behind him. The very first time I watched this, I was like, okay, bet, he's gonna probably die. And Nick Fury's gonna probably have to figure out what happened to him and then uncover everything that's happened with him. So I would not have known he is under all of it. Like, I was like, he played it so well. It was just like everybody to me brought it. Even my man Frank Grillo for Rumlow, like he made a staple. That's why he ended up in Civil War. But I thought that the biggest things about this one is the statement that I made in the very beginning of this review is, I'm with you to the end of the line. When they are sitting there at the very end of this movie, beating each other senseless. Cap is being beat to death, you know, and he's like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not gonna stop helping you, and I'll die to do it. Like, that was something that was cemented for me. And at the same exact time, like, when I think back to the first Avenger, and like how willing like Cap was to die for his country and do everything for his country, and then to find out this country has forsaken him and is like shunned him away and put him in this situation to not only go against his friend, but really forsake what he represents. And it was kind of just like when they all turned on him, and like he had to go against the very thing that he lived and bled and breathed for. Like, I was like, this is a defining, interesting moment. And I just thought it was really dope. What else, man? It was so many different moments, man. The action beats in this, the elevator fight scene, the fight scene on the freaking boat, every scene that was on the street that took place in Washington, D.C., if you don't know, all of those scenes, to me, because they're so practical, and a lot of them were not CG, it wasn't like, in this movie, matter of fact, there is an underutilization of CG that I appreciated, because so many movies now are just like so CGI heavy and splurge with CGI everywhere, and it was just like, they use as much practical effects to do stuff as they possibly could. Like when Black Widow was going up against the Winter Soldier, she had to sit there and jump off the edge and then hang down, and Scarlett Johansson still sitting there running, just looking back. I was like, yo, this is what an action movie is about. And I think that's one of the things that's about this movie, that this is a great action movie, this is a great film, this is a great superhero film, and it's like, take, you know, The Dark Knight and take this movie. They are very different films, but both of them on their own right can stand up as great films. And I think that's one thing that this is what, to me, I was praying for when it came to Civil War, and I got levels of it, but I'm praying that the nuances of this bleed over into Infinity War. I really do, man. Like, there was never a point that I didn't think anybody was safe, even though out of the movie, everybody ended up making it for the most part. Like, there was never a moment that I didn't feel like, man, anything could really happen. And I think that's the way of the storytelling, that's the way of the writing, that's the way of the build, the way of the acting. Like, everybody brought it. When Natasha legit saw Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury die in there, and she literally felt like she was completely alone, like, I was like, I bought it. Like, if I believed that she believed that he was really dead. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, this film, man, it defined to me what the MCU could be, and what I'm praying that it can ultimately live up to. Because if Captain Marvel ends up anything like this, it's gonna be amazing. If Infinity War takes different levels of this, on the intensity side, on the cinematic side, on the fight choreography side, dude, Infinity War is gonna demolish, to be quite honest with you. So I thought this was a 10 out of 10. The best MCU film, period. Okay? I'll talk about more later. Keep it locked. JVS ain't gonna stop. Make sure you go down to the description bar below. Click on our link for Stardust. Stardust, if you don't know about it, you should know about it now. I talk about it in every single video of this. What it does is it gives you 30 seconds to be able to talk and riff on whatever movie or TV show you want to. I want you guys to tell me what you thought about this movie, and make sure you tag us at JVS, and I'm going to take your reaction and I'm going to put it into a consolidation for Infinity War week. Okay? So, do that. Next up is number 10. If you don't know what it is, hey, hey. Talk to you later. Peace, guys.